neutrals.
Does this mark the end?
Subaru driver!
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Chris Chatfield and Jay, and we're gonna find out who's faster, Mark 7 GTI or BMW E46 in today's episode of Race Wagon.
All right, we are also doing some fun stuff with some prototype parts. On the E46, we are prototyping a new intake, so you will see this hit shelves soon if our testing goes well. And even way more upstream, Chris is an engineer and we were having some heat issues, so he developed a louver kit that if our testing goes well, we're gonna rush this into production because at least after one session, it's looking promising.
What are you doing here, Chris?
I'm preparing to make some modifications that should end up well, but might end up very poorly. We'll see. So what we have here are some sheet metal hood vents that we cut out. Nice and simple, just like flat pattern things. Super easy for us to make, and we're thinking about selling them to you guys too, if we get enough interest. So the deal was I ended up scanning kind of the hood profile and I came up with this design that kind of lines up right with this little cutout here. So it's a nice like opening, and you can use like this, the sheet metal of the hood, like the inner sheet metal, as a template. So you'll just be following along those lines, cut it out. And then once this is in, this will cover up all the nasty cuts that you just made. You'll use some rivets, basically fasten it to the top of the hood, and you can bend these in whichever bend angle that you would prefer.
What are we hitting the Gwitty with a Wivet gun right now?
Voila!
Perfect.
All right, here's predictions. Here's what we got to do. I want to see what everyone thinks they're going to do. Here's my vote. We're going to see 204 in the GTI, and we're going to get down to 203 in the E46. And I say that the biggest differentiator is that we have mostly new Goodyear racing slicks for the E46. And I think the GTI is going to be winning till like Sunday, second last session, and then the E46 is going to come around, because it's got a little bit better equipment prepared for a full race scenario. Jay, what do you think?
I like the prediction. I'm going to do my best to hit it. We'll see if I get to that 203. I'm going to shoot closer to 2, though.
Oh, down to 2. Okay, down to 2. Casey, what are you thinking?
So, okay, I'm really thinking that the Mark 7 here is just going to kick it all weekend, because, I mean, the E46 is our newest car. We haven't done a lot to it, but we've put so much into this that I'm seeing 2 seconds out of this.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really good point, especially with the hood louvers now. We're evacuating a little bit of extra heat. We're not going to have any of that boost cut that we're seeing at some of our other tracks at peak summer. It's going to be a good throwdown. All right, Chris, you're driving the GTI. What do you think?
I honestly think that GTI is going to have it in the bag just from power alone. There's so many power sections in there. This isn't a very front-wheel drive friendly track, but I think it still has it just by power alone. The E46 definitely has a tire advantage, but I don't think it can keep up in the straights.
All right, you heard it. We're throwing down. Gran, what do you think? Behind the camera, behind the camera.
GTI.
GTI. He is a Volkswagen fanboy. All right, Trek is going to start in the background. You're not going to be able to hear us pretty much from here on out for the rest of the day. Gentlemen, good luck.
After shaking down both cars on Friday, Saturday was looking good to set down some solid lap times. Through the morning, both Chris and Jay got back into their rhythms, getting faster and faster as the afternoon approached. After a few sessions in the GTI though, Chris noticed that the brakes needed to be bled for him to really continue putting down some serious fast lap times.
You got to fill up, full.
It's full already.
Okay.
Doing some brake bleeding.
Bleeding.
Blah, 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 blah.
Ready.
Pumping. Hold.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, that's pretty dirty. Pump.
Floor.
Pump. Always do brakes with friends.
There we go.
Jay was feeling good on track. The car was planted and it was looking good for him to set a solid lap time. In the GTI though, the heating issues that Chris experienced at Gingerman seemed to be gone with the new hood louvers that he installed. In terms of lap times, Jay hit a 2:25 and Chris hit a 2:05. Now that's a whole 20-second difference between both cars. Jay has some sliding action going on through turn 17, and Chris is definitely benefiting from the bigger turbo and the rear downforce on this long track. But during the last session, our GTI encountered some problems.
I can't find third. There it is. Oh no. That's not good. I don't have gears.
Oops, all neutrals.
I got 6 neutrals.
Oh no.
It did the old 4L60.
Does this mark the end?
I got 6 neutrals.
We think it's a shift linkage.
Let's
I
hope.
think it's the shift cables. I don't think it'll be anything bad.
Did the linkage
Oh,
fall
you can
apart?
hear
I
it.
think
Yeah.
so. I think the linkage popped off. It should be an easy fix if we have the stuff.
Don't say that.
So after letting the GTI cool down, Chris wanted to investigate what was going on, and it turned out to be the shifter linkage had slipped off, a quick fix, and the car was ready for Sunday.
All right, so it's Sunday morning. We're about to do our warm-up sessions. We're doing something a bit different today where Chris and I are swapping cars. And I gotta say, I'm pretty nervous to drive the GTI. I've never driven this car aside from putting around the parking lot at ECS. And so I really don't know what to expect from it. I did a ride along with him yesterday in this, and it definitely feels a lot different as a drive because it's a front-wheel drive car. It's got a turbo in it, so it's got a lot more power, and all around it's just a completely different setup. So having not driven it, I'm a little nervous, but we'll see what we can put down in our warm-up session here in a minute.
This is my first time out in the E46. Really excited to see how it does. I mean, I autocross an E30, pretty similar. I've driven a fair few of BMWs, kind of know how they feel. I haven't driven one with an open diff though, so this is gonna be kind of interesting to see how it does. I'm really excited about trying out these Goodyear slicks. We'll see how they do. I'm really hoping to, get some good momentum, like, being able to hold on to some speed in the corners to be able to exit out a little bit quicker. We'll see how it does. I'm really excited.
After the first session, we checked back in with our drivers to see what they thought.
How was your first session out?
First session was good. I was a lot more comfortable in the car than I thought I would be. It put down a ton more power. And if you give me a second, I could pull up the lap time because I guarantee it's faster than the E46. So we're looking at 2:14 was my best lap on that session. My best lap yesterday in the E46 was 2:25. So definitely was able to put down a lot more on track and felt really good.
So, how was your first time in the E46?
Pretty good. Getting used to the grip level. I mean, power's okay. It's definitely, it's better than a Miata, but it's better than my E30. I don't really feel like the open diff in the back too much because of the amount of grip that we have with these slicks. But yeah, it went well. Got a little bit of clunking, but I don't feel it, so I'm gonna keep on going.
So we're back on Sunday. We got our times back. So now this is going to be a big shift. So the E46 got a 2:12 and the GTI got a 2:14. Two insanely close times, but let's talk with the drivers and see why that is.
So I got a 2:14 in the GTI, you got a 2:12 in the E46. Really close times. I'm surprised how much you crushed my time in the E46. But I think a lot of it comes down to This had a lot more power, so I'm really happy I was able to cut 11 seconds off my time. I also was a little more familiar with the track by that point. So, but you beat me.
Yeah, so I was actually fortunate enough. My third session I ran with Bill Griffin. He's a Spec E46 guy, Turner sponsored driver. A fantastic guy. He knows the platform really well, and he was really helping me through some of the corners. So I had that kind of going in my favor too. But I'm also more familiar with the platform with running E30s and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, with this being your first time in this car and your first weekend at Pitt, like, you should be proud of your time. Like, that's still very, very good.
Yeah, I'm definitely proud. Like you said, this is my first time ever driving the GTI. To take 11 seconds off from yesterday, I'm pretty proud of that. Overall though, you do have a lot more track experience than I do as well.
Yeah, it really comes to the fact that I think the driver is more of a variable than the car in most cases. And you could honestly, like, as long as you just show up in your daily, just get to the experience, because yeah, the loosen up behind the wheel is definitely the quickest way to get faster on track.
Experience is everything, and I've been learning that. The more experience I have on track, the faster I've been going. Getting used to the car, getting confident in the car, getting confident in myself, and really learning my limitations as well as the vehicles. And you can do this in any car. The fact that the GTI and the E46 had such close times, any platform's reasonable to get on track. You just gotta get on track.
We're excited to announce that we just released our intake for all M54 powered E46s. That's right, we have kits that fit both 330i and 325i. Maintaining the stock MAF location, this allows you to switch back to the stock airbox while keeping the silicone boot. Not only that, but it sounds great too. Available now.